It is March 16th. I think that means something to somebody, somewhere, some way, somehow. But I'm not sure who it means anything to. Maybe it means something because St. Paddy's Day is tomorrow. And I guess that means something to someone as well. What it makes me think of is times when I had too much to drink. My brother and I would get into these obnoxious drunken brawls. We would beat the shit out of each other. We would be bleeding. And I don't know why we did that. Maybe it was to establish some sort of a dominance. But I think we were just mostly bored. There was no real gain to any of it. There was no point in any of it. It's just mindless beating of someone you love. But at the end of it, it always seemed like maybe there was a victor. Maybe we had established something. But then again, maybe not. Is that kind of where you wanted to go with this, Lou?
Hit the brother a little too hard one time.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. It kind of just spawned that humans in general we're just spiraling. Like we don't know, kind of like everybody's just attacking everything. Like everybody's offended by everything, and they want to talk about like a patriarchy being a bad thing or being tyrannical or all these different situations. And I think that we've kind of lost our way. So I wanted to talk about hierarchy, and I think that hierarchy is a natural order. It's a natural way for humans to organize ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I think it's actually a pretty amazing thing because it lets people fill roles that make them feel more fulfilled. It's when I look at a sports team and I see a LeBron James, you don't want to make LeBron James equal to the last guy on the team. And that's what I think that America's so convoluted in their heads, is that we're trying to make the LeBron James, be just a normal player. Like, I think hierarchy, the problem that comes with hierarchy in America is that it's no longer a merit-based hierarchy. It's no longer
a meritocracy.
It's no longer based on competency. It's based on this corruption, this evil, and now it's just like these people are in positions of power that don't deserve to be. And I think that's why we may get a bad taste of hierarchy in our maybe in our palates, because we see it the way it is now. Well, what do you think about that,
Thaddeus? Who doesn't deserve to be in power? Too many clicks on the button. I don't deserve to be in power.
Yeah, see, that's why we need hierarchy during this whole broadcast.
Exactly.
You gotta click the button, right? Who doesn't deserve to be in power?
I'm out.
Honestly, truly, those who seek power don't deserve to be in power. That's the most destructive kind of trait that anyone could have. It doesn't matter to me from a hierarchical standpoint who runs things, right? I mean, I'm from a family mainly full of women because some of the men in my life were terrible. That was a matriarchy, a very powerful matriarchy. It was a matriarchy that would have everyone come back to the same spot if someone died, if there was a family reunion or whatever. In the last year, I've lost a grandmother who was the matriarch of the family, and so there's something to be said. There's no one willing to do it, right? But of course, what typically develops over time is, well, who's the eldest son? Who's the eldest person? Who's the most successful? Oh, that's you. And so people, as Lou says, tend to organize themselves in hierarchical structures because that is, I hate using it. And I know it sounds very, I don't know, what's the word? I don't want to say it's alt-righty, but that's the word. It's conservative.
Go ahead and say
so
that.
Basically speak, well, I know,
racist.
Yeah, but just like using the N-word like narrative. Ooh, bad word. But no, it's just one of these things where it happens. It emerges over time. It emerges in even when you do sort of software, right? When you write a program from the beginning, you establish at least class hierarchy when it comes to object-oriented programming, and then everything and every subroutine and every subclass you write derives from the master class. And I think we need to realize that that is emergent throughout all of human history, throughout all society. I mean, I think we need to come to the conclusion that that's just a thing.
You know what made
if I use the word.
You know what made me
I feel like we're going to have to get a manager in here to handle this. I just don't feel we have a hierarchy.
What are you, a Karen now?
I've always been a Karen.
You know what made me think about it was what was everybody using the word white privilege. Oh, your white privilege is showing, or your this privilege is showing. And to me, I was like, I finally thought about it. And I was just like, that's so stupid. Like, why are we attacking someone for having a privilege? The privilege is to be respected, as long as it wasn't gotten, ill-gotten privilege. I think privilege should be, for the most part, respected. You've earned that level, that place. So I just always thought
it used to be. It used to be something that was looked up to, right? Like the manager, we look up to the manager because he makes great beer. He's a badass. Yeah, and that's hierarchy.
He's the manager,
right? But if we're not looking up, and we're not trying to aspire towards what we see as a goal, then the only other solution or the only other way of doing it is to try to bring everybody down. So I just feel that if we don't respect these things as privileges, because to me, when I think of privilege, I think of ancestors. So my ancestors must have done something good, and now you're going to disrespect them because of what they've given me, as opposed to like maybe learning from how they got to that point. I just think our conversations are wrong about all of this.
Painfully so, I know, and it's kind of makes me sad in a way because it's Jacobin nihilism of just like, no, we should tear down the past. We should tear down the past. We must tear down the past. You forget about the past, kill it if you have to. And it's just like, wow, why?
Well,
why? Maybe there's something we can learn about that.
Hierarchy, isn't that essentially what's going on there on some level? So when
that has been the epic struggle between conservatism and whatever.
Well, you say we're not establishing, or we're saying hierarchy is good. Well, that depends. It really depends on whether or not you like the particular hierarchy that's in control. I threw up the picture in chat earlier, Lord of the Flies. That's a story that's all about, the development of hierarchy,
the natural order.
But we have to separate the development of hierarchy from, is hierarchy good or bad? So I think it's just inevitable.
I've got something to say about that.
It's not only inevitable, but if you look at every other animal, it pretty much mimics that.
So hierarchy used to be established on the playgrounds when we were kids. And they've taken that away from us. So now we grow into adults and we don't know the natural order. So now there's a lot of question about who's in charge, who do I bow to, where do I fit in the pecking order?
Right.
And that's why everybody's so messed up these days. Because they don't know where to go. They don't have anybody to look up to. They don't have anybody to look down on. And they're just mumbling through life, and it sucks.
I completely agree. The hierarchy is not only for establishing the roles of at the top, but I think one of the bigger benefits that we would get is that the people, the plebs, the normal us, they would then find their place to fill their roles, and with the understanding that your leadership is is something to be proud of and respected. I think all of that is really playing havoc on us. Supposedly, I think a third increase in mental issues in the last year from the medical. I think a stat like that just came out.
Well, everybody's just getting used to the new hierarchy, which is sit down, shut up, do what you're told, stay at home, get the shot. You might die. We don't care. This is the new hierarchy. Oh, and by the way, you have a complete moron who doesn't even know what day it is. Yeah, you've got him in the White House. So technically he's your commander in chief now. He doesn't answer questions. So don't expect to ask any questions or get answers. This is the way it works now. We've established this for each and every one of you, and you're going to like it. If you don't like it, we'll probably throw you in prison or something.
I've enjoyed creating my own hierarchy for however many years I've been on Earth, and it just seems like this year I woke up and probably the three dumbest people, Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, and Joe Biden, are supposedly the only people that can tell us what to do, and more importantly, what we cannot do. And I'm finding that irritating. It's
it should have just been a black pill for the fact that like human beings have a tendency to be sheeple. And particularly when they've outsourced so many of the just simple things and stuff like that. I hope that there's some reemergence of self-reliance outside of all this nonsense that has happened over the last year. And congratulations, happy 365 days to flatten the curve, everybody.
Well, can we social justice our way out of this? I mean, is that going to help the situation?
That's never really
enough, Lou. If anybody's had the pleasure, if you type in hierarchy and you search Google Images, like we often do when we're looking for thumbnails for this crap that we do. When you search Google Images, what you get is a bunch of pictures of pyramids. That's what you get. What is this?
So,
hey,
is he stalking someone right now?
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can you turn that horizontal? It's giving me a headache.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to bring up
very dark.
Sean, you brought up a great point with you and your brother, and I really think it plays into everything you guys are talking about right now. We're looking at primal urges, our primal innate things we have going on as human beings, and that comes down to survival. We don't have a way of playing those out in needing to hunt and grow our food and survive. So we have that energy just built into us, trying to push somewhere. And with everything that's going on now, we go to the grocery store, we get food. Everything is provided for us. And because that's provided, we still have that energy for survival. We have nowhere else to put that energy. So we're fighting against each other.
Yeah, I try to put mine into Lou.
In that competition type
all the time.
There you go.
Just to kind of play off that. Just to play off that point, my wife, who is always the voice of reason because she's a normie, basically came to the conclusion, and I think we kind of could do it, is like this generation and subsequent generations, sort of those of us who had to go and fight these stupid wars, have nothing to fight for. Every generation needs a cause. And exactly. I think the cause of building this trying to build this world where we are subject to this cosmic justice to use a Thomas Sowell's kind of term, that is not obtainable, right? It is tearing down the past because, for God's sake, they weren't as woke and or tolerant as us contemporaries. And this generation has nothing. They have no great war. They have no great depression. They have no great anything.
You're speaking
and
like
truth be told, from a financial standpoint.
No great depression.
What's that?
Our war is
well, here's the deal, right? This generation has had to live through 2 economic downturns. And so that is definitely not going to help the cause of capitalism and free markets. And they're about to live through a 3rd. And so the simple fact of the matter is, like, this generation has nothing to really fall back on, because we, for those of us who are parents, did I wouldn't say a piss poor job. We just wanted them to have the shit that we didn't have. And I think at the same time, we did spoil them.
The Iroquois Indians, the Native Americans from the New York area, they established a hierarchy that lasted almost, I think, 2,000 or 3,000 years, and we actually brought them into the signing of the Declaration because they had so much understanding of organization of that level. And to me, that was something fascinating when I was looking up in the revolution.
Well, it's funny too, because it's not that, I guess it's not the hierarchy in particular, like anyone does it particularly well. It's just an emergent characteristic and behavior when you get groups of people together.
But that's the way it should be.
All the time. Oh
That-
yeah, no,
that's the way it
you'll
should
get no disagreement when it comes to that on there.
But
it
that's not the
emerges
way
as
it
opposed
is
to being
now.
forced down.
That's not the way it
Yes,
is now,
you're
because
right.
you have Paris Hilton, in the hierarchy of whatever the fuck she's a part of. I know I'm old dating myself by
You're dating yourself, man. It's
using
Kim
her
Kardashian.
as a
It's not
hairless.
that.
You end up being your own.
Her and Lindsay Lohan. So which one you want?
You're dating yourself even more.
But all right. So I'm
I
gonna
like Lindsay Lohan.
break in real quick.
And we know it's gone dark. There's the black pills abound, as you can see.
Oh, come on. All right, sorry. Here
Uh-oh.
we go.
Yeah.
Is that better? You can see me?
There he is.
I'm gonna go
There's
with
that big beautiful.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I'm
orange.
gonna break-
Turn that down.
Well, I'm in my truck, and
Oh, okay.
I got to get out here in a second. But I just want to point out the human condition. We strive for struggle. That was born on survival for generations. I mean, tens, if not hundreds of generations. And now we've hit this point where we have no struggle for survival. But we've always fought a struggle. We've always overcome a struggle. And in our current day and age, we don't have to fight to survive. So we still want to find that struggle. And instead of looking for that struggle in trying to get that next elk so we can eat tomorrow, or make sure that crop produces, we are finding it amongst each other because we have no better outlet. We don't have a war. We don't have a famine. We need struggle as humans, and that's basic human nature. I liked Sean's thing with his brother Travis. Like, holy shit, I grew up with that with my brothers. We didn't struggle for food or anything else. We were struggling to be better. We were struggling to grow and be stronger. And that's something we lack as society currently. Simply put, we need struggle.
I don't
to
think so.
thrive.
Yeah, so we don't have. So now you're kind of making a good point.
I don't agree with any of that.
We're not being
The whole idea that there's not a struggle. No, that's ridiculous. People struggle every day.
That's not the struggle he's talking about.
But not on a primal instinct. Even homeless people get, $10 and cash handed to them. They go down to McDonald's and they get some food. Now, I'm oversimplifying that, and I don't want to be mean or demeaning towards homeless people. I know their circumstance sucks.
They are a big, are a big part of our democracy. God damn it, that was a good joke, but I can't say the fucking word. Demographic.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, as an entire society, we don't have a struggle.
I just want to let you know, Colonel, I got to stop you right there. If you say struggle one more time, we're going to have to have the camera because it feels like you're writing Mein Kampf over there.
We're gonna strangle you.
Or jihad.
We're gonna change one
jihad.
letter, and it's gonna turn into strangle.
Bring him in here to be a producer.
Can I take it to a level real quick? Colonel, were you done? I don't want to overstep on your show.
No, interrupt him, Lou. Come on, take
Nah,
it.
Well, no, I was gonna take it.
You're listening, Lou. This is your
This
show.
is more. This is actually the Thad. I was hoping he was actually going to show up because, like, is the hierarchy that we're waiting for is when machines take over? Because, like, AI can already predict our schedule and our behavior, and it hasn't even started incorporating our eyes. And our eyes have the most depth of understanding of where our attention goes and what our attention. So when they start doing the eye tracking and they start logging that information in with our purchasing information, and it becomes even more. It's only going to get more understanding. Is AI the hierarchy that humans need in this new world to succeed?
I have never wanted to zoom in on AI more than I have right now. Anyways, but continue.
Yeah, no, you're kind of really put. No, that's a lot to unpack, but let me make it real quick. Ultimately, yes, there are people that exist in this world that are basically coding, training these machines to do just that. They come from a good place. They want to get rid of human toil, particularly cognitive toil, but toil nonetheless. But you also have to separate AI from machine learning from just automation. There are their de-evolution as I kind of print them down. Like AI is what they want. And yes, ultimately, there are people, there are companies, there are processes, there are organizations. There's a ironically a hierarchy that would not mind subletting out some of those tasks to a artificial general intelligence that everyone's striving for. So that's to answer your question. Yes, they eventually that's what they want.
That's really where we're at. That's your hierarchy. That's your pyramid. Again, you search the image. This is hierarchy. So, you're having this conversation. Is there hierarchy? Is there struggle? This is going to be a black pill episode because we're literally talking about the destruction of hierarchies that we may actually like and being replaced with things like, you bring up AI. Yeah, it's fine. Everything
is awesome. Everything is also, guys, because you know what, man?
Hey,
it's not Trump. It's not Orange Man, baby. It's not Orange Man.
And I'm glad, man, because I couldn't take fucking 4 more years of Donald Trump being my president. Not that it affected my life in any real tangible way other than, him being on the TV all the time, but just because, like, I just got I don't know. I was just over him. It's just like you can only stand a pop star.
Is it because, Lou, of the reaction? I was sick of him because of the reaction of people to him.
Yes.
That's what made me sick of it. It wasn't him per se. He made me chuckle.
Yes, he was a comedian. To me, he was a comedian. He was always a comedian. He used to act. I don't know if people remember this, but he was literally in a wrestling match with another millionaire. Like, what do you want from the guy?
Oh yeah. I think so. I think it was Steve McMahon. Was it? Yeah, I remember that because the loser of that had to shave their head, and ultimately, of course, Trump didn't lose, and so McMahon had to shave his head or whatever. Guys, that's back when I was definitely into WWF, man. I was so into WWF.
Trump was always a stark reminder to me of just how fucked our society is.
Right, he was the Paris Hilton of.
I mean, you think about this, and I used to say this all the time that we had gotten this troll president. And it was because of the way people behave online. It's because of the way people interact. It's because of these hierarchies that they build that have no meaning in real life. And so guess what? That's the president you got. And now you have an empty suit. Good job, America.
This is for real. George Clinton was an empty suit. I thought the biggest empty suit was George W. Bush for a while, but Joe Biden makes George W. Bush seem like a Rhodes Scholar. And he probably is. I don't know if he isn't or is. I know George Clinton is, or Bill Clinton is.
George Clinton.
Bill Clinton, everybody to go. Very accredited.
George Clinton. They must have.
You're about to see George Clinton as he picks up.
They did that on purpose too. They gave us Bill Clinton and then George W. whatever.
Flashlight.
George W. whatever. Get some soft pork corn up in here.
Soft corn corn.
And that's everything on their website. I think they're making fun of me, so yeah. I'll have to go back and watch that.
That's just the way the hierarchy is worked out here. So I assume we'll expect the revolution at some point in the near future. Lou's gonna come burn our houses down.
No. FBI, Mr.
That would probably be my job, but
none of that's true. I just want to live, and if you could give me a job that gets me enough credits, social credits, where I could just maybe have a PlayStation and I've never played a PlayStation.
Like maybe a better.
You're on number 5. I've never played a PlayStation.
Rentals. Yeah.
What's that?
Like a better rate on a bicycle rental would be good too.
Yeah. I'm such a homer. I picked up the Nintendo first, so I've stuck with Nintendo game consoles my whole life. I've yet to ever play a PlayStation or a Xbox. Have y'all?
What? Of course, I have children.
What just happened here?
I think I just sabotaged.
When did this turn into
I got high.
All father gaming?
Right? Right?
Here's what happened. I got high and I'm thinking of the future. And I'm like, in the future, I hope that I can just lay down and play video games all day because I skipped doing that for so long that would actually be entertaining for the rest of my life.
In the future.
I mean, you simply want to give up.
Yeah, if it continues.
I agree. Yeah.
I want to know what the pod looks like.
We all want our UBI.
About this. Let's start negotiating.
Yeah. If I'm gonna get into the enslavement game, how would I negotiate the terms of surrender in the terms of enslavement? Maybe.
What's
Let's not call it slavery because that has negative racial connotations. Maybe we just call it indentured servitude with a UBI.
I'll say this: if y'all are going to try to substitute coffee for chicory, fuck all that. Fuck the future. If they're going to try to substitute that shit, because I've been in jail and they were like, "Hey, I want some coffee." They gave me chicory. I was like, "This ain't coffee, homie. This shit ain't coffee."
Lou, with your kind of future, just look forward to it. You can have probably all you can eat. What are they? Cauliflower wings or something?
Dude, first of all,
Soylent Green.
First of all, breaded cauliflower is amazing, and you can dunk it in good sauce. You can dunk it in buffalo sauce. You can put it in the barbecue.
I am actually willing to go to the mattresses with Lou on this. It actually is not that good.
Yeah,
I subsequently went after it and ate some chicken right after it. But yeah, they are pretty good as a side.
You go to the mattresses with Lou on cauliflower wings. All I ask is that you put in a big purple bed. Like we saw at the
gotta be.
Wait, what? Wait,
a purple mattress, dude. Yeah, that used to be my favorite advertisement on Facebook because I like the chunky little chick that played like what is it, like Goldilocks?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those commercials that would come over like Facebook for the purple mattress?
No.
I
think that was some targeted advertising to
yeah, probably she was a little BBW, so yeah, that's probably why I watched her.
It's a black men that eat cauliflower wings. What the fuck?
On the side, motherfucker. On the
side. Appetizer, man. Like a $5 appetizer. They're good and they're good for you.
It's a hell of a hierarchy we've carved out for ourselves here.
Whatever.
No, what are you gonna do?
Oh wow! See, look what you did. You didn't call it.
All I know is that Lou, you and we're gonna be cutting out of here real soon. Real soon. Like right now.